I'm so grateful that we have the internet. I mean, it's wild. It's wild to think of where we would be without it.
Hey everyone, my name's Raunak. This is Creator Spotlight, a series where we highlight the web's top creators and their stories of how they built an audience online. In today's episode, I got to sit down with Rachel Brathen, who's commonly known as Yoga Girl. She's built a colossal audience using the web, and she's been really a pioneer of the online yoga space. She currently manages her blog, Yoga Girl, where you can read her latest content via blogs, you can sign up for virtual classes, and become a member of the Yoga Girl community. It was an absolute blast sitting down and getting to chat with her, and I really hope you enjoy our conversation today. So Rachel, tell me how you got started in the yoga space.
I had a lot of back pain. I had scoliosis, still have a little bit. I was in 3 car accidents when I was young. I just had a lot of pain my whole life, basically. I found the meditation practice when I was 17, just a really lucky streak in my life. And shortly after that, someone said or told me, if you're practicing meditation so much, why aren't you doing yoga if you have back pain? And I thought yoga was this thing for super flexible people, or you had to be up at 4 a.m, or you had to be this very specific type of person to practice yoga. So I was very hesitant in the beginning. And then I was really lucky to find an amazing teacher right off the bat and a style of practice that was super helpful to the pain that I had. And then a few years or a long time after that, I started teaching and sort of made it my whole life. But it kind of grew organically. Like I was teaching 1 person and then 3 people and then 5 people and then little by little. And then, of course, thanks to the internet, I was able to grow it a little bit bigger than that too.
Absolutely. And I think you're being modest when you say a little bit bigger than that, because I know that you have a massive audience. I want to dig into that a little bit. So when you go from realizing that you have this knack for sharing your yoga expertise with people in a physical setting, what was it like making that transition to digital? Were there any challenges in creating, your website that has so many different features on it now? Like, what was that process like when you were first launching it?
Yeah, because I live on a tiny island. I'm in a tiny island in the Caribbean, and I was teaching literally, groups of 5 or 10 people, and was really excited. If I had a class of 20, I would be, my week was made, because that was a huge class here. My original idea was I wanted to have some sort of online presence so that the people who live here could find me. And then almost right away, the first thing that started happening is that people who didn't live physically in my location started reaching out, asking questions and wondering about the practice or how to start a practice. And I just started sort of entering the social media space as a newbie with the idea of wanting to inspire or educate or invite people into the practice, so to speak. But I had a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of trial and error. I think especially because I went from teaching those 15 people on the beach to teaching hundreds of people in another country very, very quickly. And that was my biggest challenge, I think, in terms of the business and in terms of managing it all. I realized pretty early on, which I'm really grateful for now, that what really inspires people isn't so much the perfect poses or the most beautiful pictures or the green juices and the sunshine and things like that I was sharing early on. But what's really inspiring is the real, genuine, authentic stories, which involves not just the rainbows and the butterflies and the good parts of life, but also the challenging parts.
When you decide what content to post, whether it's a blog article or a topic to discuss in a podcast, it seems to align with that authenticity that you mentioned, where it just seems to be what's happening in your life and what you think readers would be interested in. Are there other sources that you look to look at what your audience might be interested in? And if so, how does that shape the content that you put out there?
That's a good question. Sometimes I poll, like I literally ask, what are you wondering about right now? Or just kind of gauging. I'm in communication with my community a lot, talking through direct message and comments and emails and all of the things. We have a community board on yogagirl.com where people write in all the time, all day long. So sometimes I can gauge that there's a topic or something sort of bubbling in the community, and then I'll go to that. Oftentimes it's the state of the world, which of course reflects the state of my inner world, which usually reflects how we all feel. Like I really found that we all feel so much of the same, and usually around the same time. the people that we are really intricately connected with. So if I don't know what to, record that week for the podcast, for instance, I'll just go to my biggest struggle right now, or that thing that really pains me right now, that thing that's hard for me in my life. And I try to approach that from a really vulnerable place. And it's blows my mind every week how many people say, that's my exact issue. I'm feeling exactly like that. Wow, I can't believe you're talking about this, because that's my inner world too. And I think we have this idea that we are so separate, but we're not. We all feel the same things, and it's nice to have someone on the other end just touch on that and validate that it's okay to have those struggles too.
So one last thing I just want to discuss with you, it's a segment where I'm going to list off 5 different types of yoga, and just want to get your thoughts on that type of yoga. Either it could be an experience that you've had with that yoga, a benefit, could be even a criticism of it. They'll get a little wilder as we go from 1 to 5. So we'll start with pretty standard. What do you think of Ashtanga?
Ashtanga is one of the first styles of yoga that I found my way to. I think for people who thrive in structure, it's a wonderful practice. But for me, it's a little too disciplined to fit my day-to-day.
And one that over the past few years, you've seen studios popping up all over the place is hot yoga. What's your take on hot yoga?
If you have a good instructor that knows to not push boundaries, that continues to guide people to really listen to their own bodies. I mean, it's wonderful to sweat, and I have no problem with that. At our studio here, we don't have to heat the studio. We just close the doors, and it's hot yoga.
And what about Acro Yoga, where people are really getting a little crazy with some of the poses, and it seems almost like you need to be a gymnast, at least maybe that's just for me. What's your thought on Acro Yoga?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things where when we see Acro Yoga online, we see really advanced stuff because it looks so beautiful, and everyone is always super flexible, super thin, it's always exotic and on a cliff somewhere or on the beach somewhere, But I think actually Acro Yoga, it can be a really bonding experience between people. With your partner, as a couple or with friends, there's something really joyful and light about having that physical connection.
Awesome. 3 down, 2 more to go. What do you think of paddleboard or Sup Yoga?
I love it. I really do. Taking a board out, anchoring somewhere, and then just having my regular practice on the board or sitting in silence with my breath. There's something so special about nature. But it can also sound and feel a little bit gimmicky. It's not really the everyday yoga practice. It's really an adventure, and I think something that you probably would do on vacation.
Okay, last one here. This one's a little bit out there. What do you think about goat yoga?
Oh man. I have a goat. I have a goat that I had since she was a little baby. This was pre-goat yoga, so I don't know if she inspired the goat yoga thing. But I would practice and she would jump on me, like how my dogs would come to my mat or my kid will climb on me. And I shared that online and it got a lot of engagement because it looks crazy. And Ellen was like sharing my videos. It was kind of intense for a little while. But I really don't like it because it's very gimmicky. It's very, very far from the roots of yoga. It's very hard to teach something like goat yoga in a setting and have it remain really sacred. And a really important thing is that I've seen them do it at goat farms where they slaughter the goats at the end of their lives, which totally goes against ahimsa and, what yoga is all about. So I'm going to say for goat yoga, it's going to be a no for me.
It's going to be a thumbs down. It's going to be a no for me, dog. You've done an amazing job with Yoga Girl of staying true to, I think, the core of yoga, which is building community, getting bodies moving, and being inclusive to anyone that wants to join. So credit to you for building that. Where can folks that are interested in signing up and subscribing, where can they find more info?
Yogagirl.com is a great place to start. We have our subscription platform there with yoga and meditation classes. And on Instagram, I'm yoga_girl, and you'll find me there.
Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much for the time today. It was a pleasure to sit down and chat with you.
Thank you so much.